Hey guys, IcyGrey here and welcome back to my Xbox 360 game collection. If you haven't seen parts 1 or 2 so far, as this is part 3, I suggest you check them out first. There'll be links in the description and there should be annotations and cards on screen for you as well. Again, we've got Neo here just because I have no other pop vinyl at the moment. I've just got Neo, so he's going to be our mascot today. Last time we started with the Bs and got to the Cs and we got to the end of Call of Duty. So today we are starting off with Call of Juarez, and this is just Bound in Blood. I think this is the second or the third, but I think it's the second one. I don't have either of the other two, and I'm not really a big fan of the Call of Juarez series. It's okay, it's just like your average shooter, just in the middle, in the Wild West, even not the Middle West, that's a different place and a different time. So it's okay for, just starting out, but I didn't really get into it too much. The story's alright, I suppose, but it just wasn't really my sort of game. Now, however, we do have one of my favourite games in my collection, which is Catherine, and Catherine is, a bit of a different game. It's a bit strange. You can probably see that just from the cover. I got into this from watching two YouTubers do Let's Plays of it, which was Ghost Robo and the Rad Brad, and basically Catherine is just a puzzle game, but it's got full HD cinematics and it's got a great story, and I'm a good fan of puzzlers, so that's actually a really good game which you should check out if you can. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I did do a 1000G episode on this because this is a very easy game to complete. It's very linear, it's very simple, it's just very easy. It's based off of the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, obviously, but it's not particularly fun, for someone who's older than 7, I suppose, someone who's used to games. It is very easy to do, and you can get 1000 gamer score on that if you have 2 controllers in about 8 hours max, probably about 6-5. The Club, haven't played too much of this. I've just played it so I could actually record the gameplay, really, but it does look quite interesting. It's quite old now, but basically it's a club of shooters and you just go around killing each other, as it were, with guns and getting headshots and things, and you've got to rack up kill streaks to get a higher score, so that it's like 3 times bonus, 4 times bonus, etc. Headshots will get you more points, and basically you just do tournaments in that way versus AI, or you can do it online, and whoever has the most points wins. So that's The Club. Crackdown, it's supposed to be a good game when it came out, as you can see, 9 out of 10, must buy, etc. But nowadays it is a bit dated. It is still quite fun to play though. It's an open world shooter, and basically you are the police, as it were, cracking down on all of the the criminals, and you can just drive around, do the missions, take the dens, kill the criminals, etc. Which is quite fun to play, but it's not the best game out there. Crisis 2, however, is an amazing game. Another great shooter. There's lots of shooters in my collection. Crisis 2 is an amazing game. I first got this on PC, and I completed it on PC, and then I thought, well, I'm just going to have to get this for Xbox 360 as well for the collection. I do have a bit of a rip there in the case, and it's sticker, but hey ho. So basically, if you don't know what Crisis is, you're like a super soldier, as it were. You can go invisible due to your nano suit, which you can see here, and you can armor it up and basically use alien technology, and you fight aliens and things, and it's just a good shooter, and it's got a great story. After Crisis 2, we have Crisis 3. Haven't completed the story on this one yet. I did get it near to the time when it came out. I just haven't got around to playing it, really. There's lots of games that I want to play. I keep saying this every episode, but I'm about halfway through, I think, and I can't remember too much of the story, so I might have to do it again, but I know you've got a crossbow, and crossbows are amazing, so that makes it even better. Now, another great game, Darkness, Start of the D's. I do have any game with the, so this is actually called The Darkness. I just leave it as whatever it is without the, so it's Darkness. So in my collection it's D rather than T. And Darkness came out ages ago now. I think it was one of the original releases, 2007. So it would have been an original release for PS3 or a year after, but Xbox 360 came out before that. So it was 2 years into the console, I think. Don't quote me. And this is a really good game. If you can pick it up really cheap now, maybe like £2 tops. Very good game to play. Basically, you're like a gangster, you're a mafia hitman, and then you get demon powers, so it makes it a lot easier. But then you find out some, plot twists and things, and then you start going against your mafia brothers. And I'm not going to give too much away, but it's a really good game to play. Equally is The Darkness 2. Comes out a few years later, and it's just got improved graphics, improved gameplay style. Similar sort of thing as to the first one. It's just another great game to play, another good story. I think the story's actually better in the first, but most of the time sequels can't be as good as the original. So Darkness 2, another great game to play after you get Darkness 1, I suggest. So carrying on after Darkness then, or Darkness 2, we have the next game, which is Dark Sector. I have a lot of games that have Dark in the title. Dark Sector's a bit weird. It's to do with viruses and I don't want to say zombies, but I would say mutants. They're kind of zombies, but not really zombies, if that makes sense. The case is a bit cracked here. I've played probably about half the game. It's a bit easy, it's not particularly fun, it's quite old now as well, so the graphics and things are dated. You can get some achievements quite easily. You can't get an easy 1000G though. So it's quite fun to play to start off with, but then you're really doing the same stuff again, and there's some areas where you might get a bit stuck, if I remember correctly. I haven't played this game for a few years, so I can't really remember everything. I just remember I wasn't too keen on it. Things like that just stick with you whether or not they are good. But Darksiders is a lot better than, Dark Sector. Haven't actually played all of Darksiders yet because I started with Darksiders 2, which I'll get onto in a second, obviously because it comes after this. But Darksiders is obviously the first game of the series. There's only the 2 so far, and in this one you play as War. Basically, it's a kind of complicated storyline. I can't really say too much about spoilers, but you play as one of the horsemen, and in this one you're playing as War. So you use all the powers of the horsemen to obviously beat things up, as you'll see in the gameplay. It's quite cheap as well, only £3. And then from the actions of that game, you then have Darksiders 2, where you take on someone else from the Four Horsemen. Death is this one in Darksiders 2. So you play as Death because of the consequences of War's actions, and they're very great games, to be honest. I absolutely love Darksiders 2. It feels really similar to Prince of Persia, as in not because of the combat or anything, because there isn't really much of that in Prince of Persia, but just the way you're climbing the walls and all of the acrobatics, even that sort of thing, feels a lot like Prince of Persia, made by THQ, which sadly is no longer obviously a company. They went bankrupt, I think. Moving on, we now have Dark Souls or Dank Souls, and this is quite danky because it is in a steelbook. This is Dank Souls 2 or Dark Souls 2. I don't actually have Dark Souls 1, and I don't have Dark Souls 3 either, but I do have Dark Souls 2. I saw this on eBay as part of a bundle of games, and I just thought I had to get the steelbook because it looks so sweet. It does look pretty amazing. Just look at the beauty of it. So shiny. Anyway, good RPG game. I don't know if it follows on anything from the story of Dark Souls because, like I said, I haven't played it. I've played a bit of this. It's quite a long game, like most RPGs are, and it is a good RPG to play. Next up, Dark Void, another game with dark in the title, I know, but honestly say I have never played this, so I have no idea what it's about. I will put in some gameplay for you, just because that's what I do. I normally do the gameplay after doing the recording of this bit, so I have no idea what this is about. I should probably do it the other way around. But apparently this is a unique combination of jet-powered dogfighting and ground-based combat, which brings a thrilling new dynamic to video gaming. I'm guessing that just means because you're in a jetpack. But it came out quite early on, as well by the looks of it, so I'm guessing it's unique. But again, another cheap game, you can pick it up for like £1. Something more fun though, The Blob 2. Again, I don't have the first one, it's the second one. And these are actually quite just a simple game, very simple. All you do is go around colouring things in paint and saving people. And it's just quite fun, to be honest. It says it's 3D compatible. Again, another game by THQ. But it's just really fun to play. It's just a relaxing play. You don't really have to stress out about doing anything. It's not difficult. It's just nice and fun. So now we have all the deads. There's lots of games with dead in as well. This is Dead Island, and it's the Game of the Year edition. Not really a fan of zombies games and things. So a few of the games that I have, I don't really play because I'm going to admit the fact that I'm a bit of a scaredy cat and I get a bit jumpy. So I don't really like playing scary games. I just buy them for my collection because normally they're cheap, or they come with other games if I'm buying them on eBay. So Dead Island is you're on a holiday island, and then suddenly it's just being infected by zombies. So you get the Bloodbath Arena, the Rider White, and the Ripper as part of the Game of the Year edition, and I think that's about it. There is Riptide, which is the DLC, which isn't in this because that came out after this. But like I said, I don't play it, so I don't use it anyway. Now we've got fighting games, which you'll remember that I said in the first part of this series that I am absolutely terrible at fighting games. So this is Dead or Alive 4, and it's just your standard fighting game. And this it's more like an arcade fighter, not as an arcade like BlazBlue, but it's not like Mortal Kombat or anything. It's not all of those like gory, gruesome effects. It's just your standard fighter, and Dead or Alive 4 is okay. So is Dead or Alive 5. You know, that I'm not really a fan of fighting games, so I can't say if they're amazing or not. To me, they're all pretty much the same thing. You just have combos, and if you don't get them out in time, you'll lose. And that's pretty much how I see fighting games. So again, just picking them up to add to my collection. Similar, like I just said with zombies, Dead Rising. I'm not really a fan of zombie games at all. Dead Rising is a bit different though, because it's your proper survival game, like Nazi zombies kind of thing. I think, if I remember, you can correct me. I don't know. Just rage at me in the comments or just something. Because you go you're like a photographer or a journalist, and you just go and take pictures of them and stuff. I think I can't really remember, and then you have to survive for as long as possible, which I think is like 5 days is the max. I think. I'm not too sure. I haven't really played it too much, like I said. Not a big fan of zombies, but Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2 are popular zombie games. I don't have Dead Rising 2 yet, but I do have Dead Space. So, you know, you might have seen when I attempted to do a Let's Play of this as well. I'm terrible at Let's Plays. I really don't like them at all. I'll try and put it in the link in the description if I find it. If I didn't take it down, because it was just shockingly bad. I think I did the first 2 missions of this, and again, I do not like jumpy, scary games. This probably isn't scary at all anymore, because it is outdated, so the graphics are not as good. But I've heard that they're good games if you like that sort of thing. I don't, so it's not really for me. And that's about it for this series, guys. Not series, episode. I was going to say this. I've still got loads of games left. I'm not doing any more in this episode. I'll see you in the next episode where we'll finish off the Ds and then probably get on to the Es as well. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, just leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you later. So, bye-bye.